In today's video, I wanted to talk about why I am probably gonna pull books and just restart my published books number. So I always feel like I have to add a little, like, for a minute until it really starts to settle in. And I've talked about this a little bit throughout our journey throughout 2026 here, but basically my fiction books really don't sell. I mean, I haven't sold any in like a year at least. And again, they don't sell. And that's fine. To be honest, they're pretty cringe. I've been told they're pretty cringe. And I'm not good at writing fiction. And I don't really want to be. I like writing cringe. I like writing really trash, boring, like, doesn't state a theme. My character arcs probably suck. Like, what purpose does this character serve other than I like them? I feel like they should be there. Am I describing the world enough? Am I describing it too much? Are you describing it the wrong way? Like, are you hitting all the beats you're supposed to? Which, like, story outline are you following? I don't care. Like, I just want to write fiction stories that I want to write. And if other people like them, cool. And I thought that that would be enough. And it's not. Like, I still really love my original trilogy. I think it's a fun story. I really loved those characters. And it took so many different twists and turns. And honestly, I think now I probably could have wrote it better. Like, but you know, I wrote it at the time. Like, you know, there's just something about writing young adult fiction as a young adult that you don't get as an adult writing young adult. And, you know, changing the whole trajectory of the story so many times. And it took me like 8 years to figure out what I wanted to do to finish out the series and how I wanted the world to come together and how I wanted to get to the end. And I'm still really proud of it. I still really love it. I know it's cringe. I know it's bad. I know I'm never gonna read it again because I can't. I will want to change everything all over again. But I remember having fun writing it. And with my next one, I was like, okay, let's pull back. Let's try and write a little bit more to market. Still my own crazy, but a little more to market. Didn't do well. Then I was like, okay, maybe this next one's gonna go. And then I ended up just like writing my dream story of like the traumas of working in optical and how much it sucks because I had so many details notes from working in different optical offices. All of those events had happened. Not in the same office. Some characters were kind of smooshed different people in the real world together and different traits and, you know, mix and mingle. But at the end of the day, every single thing happened. And that was therapeutic, but I don't know that it needed to exist in the world. And I'm just done trying with fiction. And so it feels weird to constantly have my published number with something that, like, I don't sell these books. They're not very good. And, you know, I don't need to do them anymore. And so while I enjoyed trying it, and I do like writing fiction, but again, I like writing my own fiction, my own stories. And, like, to be honest, again, it's at the point now where it feels like it would hinder my career more than it would help it. And honestly, I thought it was going to go the opposite way, that my fiction books were going to do the thing, and I was going to make money off of fiction books, and that was going to be my career. And I had thought that most of my life, but no. And instead, it's nonfiction witchcraft that is the thing I'm sort of making money at. I mean, not a lot. Again, my one sale this month was like under $5. That's not... My husband makes more in an hour than I made in a month. So that's fun. But, and that's not to say he's making a lot of money, but, you know, I think it's still, I've at least made some sales. And I don't for my fiction. It's just gotta go. And so I have decided to do the thing, and I am pulling the metaphorical plug on them. And you can't, like, delete a book, but you can unpublish it. And so that's what I'll be doing, is unpublishing them from Amazon and just counting my books from my witchcraft only. And so it will be my 5th book coming out. Technically, it will always be my 10th book. I have 5 fiction under the belt. But again, being a witchcraft author, that being the thing that makes me money, that I'm excited to write, that, you know, I feel relatively confident doing it. I mean, I read so many books on the topic. It's the world I'm immersed in the most. And so I feel pretty qualified to do that. Plus, you know, I've been practicing witchcraft for like almost 20 years now. So like, it's okay. Like it's okay for that to be my thing. And it feels weird to stop counting those 5. But again, also like, they're their own thing. So I can just say it's my 5th witchcraft book and just kind of slowly just drift off from counting my fiction ones, because again, they don't sell at all. And it's not like I have a huge demand for them either. And again, I know that I don't write traditional books at all. Like, I just write the story I want to write. I don't really care. Like, a little bit of me is like, does this make sense? Like, is it a compelling enough story to like care? And like fixing grammatical things and stuff, but otherwise like, I don't care that much. Like, I just want to write a really weird, whack story, and that's it. And like, I don't want it to mean anything. I don't want to think about theme and all of the things that I had to learn when I went to college to do my writing. And like every single other author channel, it feels like, does fiction work, and that's the stuff they talk about, and I just don't care. Like, I really don't. I should, but I don't. I want to write my Spellcaster Save Santa story that is not at all what anyone wants to read. And, you know, that I want to have, like, the old witch in town and her story of how actually, yeah, it makes sense that she is the old witch in town and hates people, because, like, same. I would do the exact same thing. And, you know, how the community slowly rebuilt around her. Like, I want those stories. I want these really out there random stories, and they're not gonna sell. And, you know, there's a line of where you want your creative career to go. And if you want it just to be your authentic ideas only, that's great. You can do that. You're also gonna need to have a normal day job. Like, there's very few people that are able to pull that off, where the books you want to write are also going to sell really well. That's a pretty narrow line for people. For the most part, you've either got to choose if you're going to write your wackadoo stories, but you've got either a huge back catalog of like written to market that are doing really well still, or you have a real job, or you have some other income. You know, maybe you have a spouse that is able to pay all the bills, your house is paid off, you're retired, whatever, and then you can do it. But like, if you want it as a career, that's really hard to do. And so I am just, you know, if I feel like writing a fiction book, I'm gonna write it. I just won't publish it. And that's fine. Like, it's okay to make realistic goals. And so I'm pulling all of my fiction. If I want to write them, I'll write them privately, like I used to. Like, not even on my computer. Like, I want to go so old school, like when I was very first getting into books, and I just want to have it on like a notebook. Because like, if it's a file, I'm never gonna touch it. But if it just has to live in a notebook, it's just that notebook. And then I'm not sitting there analyzing the word count, because I'm not gonna sit there and like count out the words. Like, it's just like, this is like a good stopping point for this chapter, it's fine. And not having an outline and just writing for the fun of it. And if I want to, I will. And then if I don't, it's fine. And I think that's really where I need to get to. And I'm pretty much there. I just gotta actually do the thing and unlist them from Amazon. And I don't even know if I'm gonna do it right away, but it's just something I'm like, I need to do that, because it's just not worth it, you know? And again, now my book count is just my witchcraft books. So instead of 9 books published towards that 33, this is the one that hurts. Instead of my checkpoint goal of 33 books, instead of being 9 into it, I'm 4. That hurts a little bit, you know? But again, also, if I had 33 witchcraft books, that's doing pretty good. Instead of, well, technically I have 33, but 5 of them aren't, and then, no, it's just gonna be the same genre of writing, nonfiction, witchcraft, and I'll get my 33 books. And you know, the goal is really, you know, to write about 11 books a year and publish, hopefully, all 11 books a year. And again, even if I have to stagger publishing like I talked about before, where, you know, I hit it Amazon first because it's easy, it's done, I don't have to worry about it. Crap comes in so much faster, not as expensive to get copies. And then Barnes is a later publication, but I'm getting there. You know, it's a continuous motion of things coming out. I think that, and it's not like I have like people like breaking down the door for like a pre-order, gotta have it. The only one that I really felt bad about was my death book because I had quite a few people that are like, I need this book like right now. And I'm sitting there like, it's almost coming out any day now. And so, you know, like, having it be staggered, I think it's fine. Like, I don't have, nobody's being like, oh my god, I need this book, where's this book? Nobody cares. Just me trying to make money, doing what I love. So like, I think taking out the fiction books is what I need to do, even though it kind of sucks. And again, it feels like a part of your dream died, but it's more just you're erasing the fantasy part of it, and real life is here, and how are you actually in the real world gonna pay your bills? And that is how. And to be honest, I don't read enough fiction books to like feel justified in it anymore anyways. Like which I realize sounds crazy, I only read one fiction book a week, but I'm reading like 7 witchcraft books a week in comparison. So like, or maybe 6, but whatever. Like, I read a lot more witchcraft books than I do fiction, so I don't know. I'm done with fiction, and it feels weird to really claim like I am a witchcraft author. That is my thing, instead of being a multi-genre, multi-pen name author. Now I'm just a one pen name, and yeah, but I think it's worth it. I think it'll be worth it in the end. I think, you know, having just that narrowed down focus of what I'm doing is gonna help a lot, because I did that to the other channel and that seems to be helping. And so, you know, ooh, I have a new spam caller, different number, because you know you always get spam calls all the time, but I don't know that number. I just wanted to talk a little bit about this, and I'm curious if you are an author, if you've done the same thing. Like, has there been a point where you just pull old work because you're like, literally no? Like, it's so not even worth having it up, and just being like, you know what, it doesn't even count towards my catalog anymore. I'm curious. It's not something you hear about often, and again, it's really specific to indie self-published author world, because we don't have the control that, or I guess the lack of control that traditional publishers have. Like, the publisher can be like, if you didn't sell, we're just not gonna put it back in print. We did one printing of it, that's it. And that's how far that book lived. Where print on demand as an indie author, it's a wildly different world. So yeah, I'm just curious, from the indie world, how did it go for you? And I will see you in the not tomorrow but next day, the other day coming up, for another chit chat vlog thing. I don't know how to end these, so